you experience these things. He's supposed to be the good guy, right? But we saw that he struggled with the dark. So like the point
There
is,
should be better understanding there.
yeah, should that, hey, this is a normal reaction or response.
He should know better than anybody how to teeter somebody off of that edge.
Yeah, but I mean, even as Mark Hamill looking at his character Luke Skywalker, of course, no matter who you are, you always see yourself in the as best a light as possible.
Oh yeah.
Whether you're what's it called? Projecting like, well, you do that, not me, or what you blame shift. We do everything we can to make ourselves look like the best possible person in any given situation where there's conflict. What we fail to recognize is that a lot of times we're creating our own problems.
Yep.
And I think that is exactly what is going on with this. And I think part of it has to do with, I don't know why I'm so like, there's just so many outward things that connect into this. I think that Disney's greed to try to just start making movies and get money off of this
And
franchise they just bought. We need to start making money off of this thing that we just spend a ton of money on. They're rushed to do that instead of doing it well, just doing it cost them. I think JJ, who maybe is not the most creative guy in the world, maybe he's a good director, but maybe he's not the most creative guy, was just hearing the noise in Reddit and on the internet and wherever there was a platform for people to share their opinions.
Yeah, and took way too close to the reins.
Yeah, and just said, okay, well, let's give the fans what they want. And either whether that was just like a middle finger to the fans, it's like, okay, is this what you want? We'll just give it to you and see how you like it. Or he legitimately was like, look, I really want to give the fans what they want. This is what they're asking for, so let me do it.
Yeah.
And he just failed horrendously at it because it was terrible. No matter what it is, I think that Disney and or JJ created their own problems. I think the fans in some ways, even you and me, I think when we first watched it, we're kind of like, that wasn't what I wanted or expected. And we're a little bit disappointed when we first watched The Last Jedi.
Yep.
But we have to realize that like even our own expectations were our downfall, because I don't know about you, I think I can speak for you when I say like, you don't want to just go into a movie and know exactly what's going to happen before you get to the ending. Like maybe you enjoy a movie that's like you and I both were just drooling and fawning all over Everything Everywhere All at Once because it was such a unique movie that you couldn't tell what was going to happen. I think everybody maybe
going and not knowing was the best thing to do.
Exactly. And the thing is, even that fake out, which there's no way like when it said the end and it started giving credits, you're like, that's not the end of the movie.
There's
what?
No way, yeah.
But we kind of believed it for a second. We're like, what? That's the end?
Right, and you like make concessions in your head and you're like, I guess it is.
And then you're like,
that's fine.
Yeah. And then,
I guess.
And then it keeps going. You're like, oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like, it's that kind of stuff that like, I don't know when I got into a conversation with a guy on Reddit about it because he didn't even see The Rise of Skywalker, which good on him. But he said that The Last Jedi ruined it for him. I was like, but why? I said, in my opinion, it's for people who like Star Wars but don't necessarily like movies. Like, because if you like movies, then you can appreciate what Rian Johnson was trying to do and what he was setting up and the themes that
exactly. Is he just used Star Wars characters to tell a much more interesting story.
And so that's
with the context of what was going on.
And that's what I told this guy. Obviously, he didn't like that being on Reddit, being told that. Well, you like
on Reddit likes being told they're wrong.
You don't like movies, bro. Like you just like you like Star Wars, but you don't like movies. I like Star Wars and movies, and I like Star Wars movies for the most part. Yeah. And this was what he set up was good. There was consequences. Like even I love the fact that he was world building in The Last Jedi. We got to see, like, hey, look, people don't care about right or wrong, just like in our world. Like, they just care about making money, and money's the most important thing. And that
made a lot of sense to me. I was like, yeah, it makes sense that someone's selling to both sides.
And the whole thing, they're like, well, Rey and Rose, or Finn and Rose, they didn't really accomplish anything. And it's just kind of
you're right. Sometimes you do things and it doesn't pan out.
It doesn't pan out, and it doesn't go, and it doesn't,
and nothing changes from it.
It doesn't accomplish the goal that you were seeking. But guess what? What I saw was now Finn has a reason to fight instead of just run.
Right.
Which is literally what he was doing at the beginning of the movie.
Right.
When Rose caught him trying to escape.
Yes.
And now he has a reason to fight alongside Rey instead of running away.
Yeah.
And so that's called character development. And so, and one of the most egregious things, and I squeeze my hands in anger, about the Rise of Skywalker is that JJ reduced Finn back to
Right.
the
right.
the Force
Right.
Awakens, where he was just a puppy dog following Rey. Rey, just kill her. I mean,
And
here's
everything Poe did.
here's the next drinking game for you guys. If you're gonna watch Rise of Skywalker, take a drink every time that Finn yells Rey.
Make it a light one too.
Yeah, because you're gonna
You're gonna.
if you got to drive anywhere afterwards, do not play
You
the
might
game.
as well just let the ambulance sit outside while you're doing it too.
Yeah, be
That's
careful. We
bad.
don't want anybody to get alcohol poisoning and die from this because there's a good opportunity that's going to happen if you drink every time that Finn yells Rey in the Rise of Skywalker. But what I'm saying is like what I love too is now he with Rose, if they pursued that, if they grew that could have been something from him, not now for him to fight for when it was Rey that it was kind of his thing. Now maybe he has a connection with somebody else in the Resistance,
Yeah.
and he doesn't have to be Rey's puppy dog. And maybe Rey and Poe get together. I don't know. Maybe they don't. Maybe people in movies don't have to get together at all. Maybe they could just be single people, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So maybe Rey doesn't need a love interest at all, or maybe Poe doesn't need a love interest at all.
Oh,
like
this
you know what I'm
brings us back
saying?
to the kiss.
Oh,
You want to know what the kiss is about?
Tell me what the kiss is about. That greasy, weird tasting, unnecessary, uncalled for kiss.
The kiss was put in there because JJ wanted to replicate the same feeling as the Luke and Leia kiss. He said almost verbatim that he wanted a like brotherly sisterly kiss at the end of the movie.
Why? Why would anybody want that?
That's I didn't say I had a justification for it. I'm just telling you how it is.
I mean,
He went, they kissed.
look,
This is the reason they kissed because I wanted a Luke and Leia moment.
You know,
He
maybe
wanted
okay.
siblings to kiss each other.
Okay, maybe JJ. I don't want to question his, his things. Maybe he spends too much time on a particular website with particular kinks, but I'm not going to mention that
Too
here.
much anime.
But I
He's
just
watched too much anime.
But
It's too much sword art online for him.
But either way, that's not a thing that I want to see. I don't want to see a brotherly sisterly kiss,
No, I'm very not into that as well.
dude. I remember the person that I was with at the time when we watched it. Even she was just like grossed out by it. She's like, dude, that's not earned. And I agreed with her.
It came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like it was.
It's not a good surprise.
Oh no. It was Kylo saved Rey.
Right.
And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this kind of makes sense. Mirrors what happened earlier in the movie. And the bam, they kiss. And I went, what? The fuck? And everybody in the theater at the same time was like,
Bro, you know what? So here's the thing, and these are the people. Look, if it's you, please comment. I do want to hear from you. I really do. And even if you don't like this video, feel free to throw a dislike on it. Leave a comment.
Honestly,
but I
please.
honestly, it's very interesting to me. I do want to try to understand your mindset because in my movie theater, there were some people that cheered. And they were
That's
like happy.
nuts.
And I was just
That's crazy.
I was dumbfounded. I was like, what? Why are you guys happy about this? This is the weirdest. Like I said, Luke and Leia to me was like, okay, it's weird in hindsight because we found out later.
Yeah, but the reason
In the
why
moment
it
it
was weird
happened?
is because they wanted it to be weird.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And they wanted to tell you later how weird it is.
Yeah. But in the moment of the kiss, we didn't know that. It was just like, oh, these two guys are kind of competing for the princess girl.
Yeah.
And then later we found out, like, oh, that's weird, bro.
Even Luke was like,
Rightly so. But like this time, like we didn't, it was just weird from the get go. Like it was just weird from the moment they kissed. Cause like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah. Maybe Kylo just needed someone to love him before he died.
I mean,
But he could have found that in his dad that he killed or his mom that died in space. We're not even going to consider that she's alive in the last movie.
I'm sure there
She
was,
died in space.
dude, I'm sure he killed plenty of Jedi Padawans that were into him. You know what I mean? Like, he's a good looking dude. I mean,
Right.
we've seen him with the shirt.
Wide.
Very broad, very manly. You know what I mean? Like, his voice in his helmet was like as cool. I would say as cool as Vader's.
I agree.
Almost. I mean, Vader's is more because it's so iconic. But I mean, he sounds great. Like
He does. Kylo, in theory, was a really cool, broken character.
yeah.
And in reality, he just he got to kiss a girl, and that's all he needed. to move on.
That's why he was pulled to the dark side.
God.
None of the girls he was hitting in the DMs were hitting him back.
That's what it is.
He's left on
Kylo's
red.
an incel.
Oh no, Kylo, we love you, bro. We've got bro love for you.
Yeah, don't worry, brother. You'll find her. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but you'll find her.
Yeah, but definitely it's not Rey. Rey's not the one.
I don't even think Rey knows who she is, to be honest.
She doesn't.
I think both of our main characters, because Kylo's a main character, like very clearly. I don't think either of the main characters had any like actual growth through any of the movies. Kylo struggled between good and bad for a while and ended up choosing good, which is okay, but I don't think there was any like catharsis to his decision.
Right.
And
Rey,
Rey, the entire time was like, "Am I bad?" And then she killed Palpatine, and that was it.
Well, I think that was kind of
That was it.
But again, I think that was kind of the point that Ryan was trying to do in The Last Jedi, was to get her to a point of, I don't have to know them. Like, they didn't care for me enough to keep me. They left me. So I have to force to, and I think, again, it's relatable. There's a lot of us who, like, dude, even I'm not close with my family, my immediate family. Like, I didn't feel at home or included in my family. So I get that. Like, I get those feelings. I think there's a lot of people out there who feel that way and can relate to that, right? Like, I don't know, like, my parents are crappy, or I don't know them, or I don't know my dad, I don't know my mom. Like, you don't necessarily need to know them to have a successful, fulfilling life. You make connections with people in your life now, and you have love and friendships. You can find a mother figure, a father figure, hopefully, who can be there for you and show you and teach you the things you need to know. It doesn't have to be. So that's why I think, like, Rey, like, attached herself to Han and to Luke as potential father figures. Leia as a mother figure, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can find those connections outside of immediate family and to be just as strong. You don't need that. I think that was something that Ryan was trying to set up.
Yeah, and then the third movie could have been
it could have brought her character arc to its finality in a good way, but it didn't. He just regressed.
Well, you could even have the dynamic between the two. You have Kylo, who had a family that
he rejected his family.
Rejected, and then you have Rey, whose family also rejected her. And you see the difference between how the two were raised, and then you have a great narrative about how the environment that you're raised in directly affects the outcome of your life.
Well, I mean, and that's another thing too,
and how you can still overcome it too.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing too, is you don't have to have, because there are people. I think there's too much now. Does it influence you? Does it impact you? Does it help or hurt? Yes, like, but there's people that have good, loving, supportive mothers and fathers that choose to go off and do other stuff. They make friends and they ruin their life.
They have everything set up for them, and they choose to not.
And there are people that don't have any of that and live on to be successful members of society, and they help and they're great people. But I would say generally speaking, you see more of the people that do have what Kylo had. They generally have better foundations and stuff like that. But it's not that you can't have those things. It's just a harder.
Yeah,
you know what
it is again is you are given what you are given at birth, and you get to decide what you do with it. It's sometimes it'll be harder, sometimes it won't, and that's part of the joy of living, is you get to choose.
Yeah, and that's such important parts of the story that could have been used and elaborated on.
Right, is that they both came technically from the same place.
Almost, yeah. Just the dichotomy of differences, and there's so much that could be done there, and it's such a great idea to have two protagonists that are just opposed to each other, like that
have a connection,
that have a legitimate connection.
Yes,
not a romantic one,
right,
or a sexual one, or anything like that.
Yeah,
but they just
because my favorite parts of the movies, all of them, was Kylo and Rey talking to each other from a distance. Because you're like, these two very like opposing forces, understand each other as humans, and that's cool.
Yeah, I've actually had an experience like that with a person. I was like, dude, we'd be best friends if I didn't hate you.
Right,
Or
yeah.
or I had a best
punch you in
friend
the
that it was
fucking
like,
mouth.
if you weren't my best friend, I would hate your freaking
Yes,
guts.
yeah.
So it's just kind of like I can
Yeah.
see that with Ray and Kylo.
Like when, and I loved the idea that when they stood next to each other and actually stood next to each other, what would happen? And that's what we got with fighting Snoke.
Oh, that was
Is
so
we
good.
got what happens is they fight for each other.
Oh man, it was so they were looking out for each other.
Yes, because they understand each other. And
Oh,
then
it
we
was
get
so
back
good.
to the fucking Skywalker.
Palpatine.
They
the more-
fight on a big old Star Cruiser and
The more we-
nothing happens.
The more we talk about this movie, the more that I dislike it because because there's so much there was so much good stuff that was there. So here's how I feel about the movie. Okay, using that same analogy, it had good mom and dad, it had everything laid out to make it a good movie. Like, and whether you like The Last Jedi or not, I argue that The Last Jedi actually set it up for some really cool, really awesome stuff to be the final, just like
Yeah.
crescendo and probably, well, we didn't know it at that time. If it was successful, it might not have been the last movie. But since it wasn't, we know it's the last movie. But I'd much rather have left it on such a high note instead of this depressing, like, literally, this is the lowest ranked Star Wars movie in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Like, by far. I didn't really like Solo. Some people did. But I ranked Solo above this
Yeah.
one. Like,
It doesn't give you anything to play with. There's no thought to have afterwards. It's just, oh, she's a Rey Skywalker now, living on her home planet, and that's it.
I don't know if I've ever asked the question why about plot, about what I've seen, about the script, when I've been watching the movie, as much as I have okay, why? Like, literally the first scroll. Like, why? Why is Palpatine here? Why? Why is...
I remember being about it too when I was there. I was like, yeah, you know what? Sure,
Why
Palpatine's back.
is-
Let's find out what happens.
Why is Hux the spy?
Yeah, true.
That was
I am the
another
spy.
thing. Yeah, that was another thing in my friend. Like, he busted out laughing at me when he heard that line. I am the spy. Okay, all
Sure,
right,
man. Okay, buddy.
Sure, why not? This movie's already going crazy. Sure, Hux is the
The
spy.
only way it would have been fixed is if somebody else went, yeah, and I'm Kylo Ren. You know? That's what it felt like in the moment.
Yeah, good one, Hux. Now we kill you. I don't know, but it's just it. There's so much that could have been done, and
Yeah.
it's like
There's so much to criticize.
it,
Why were only 2 waystones made if Palpatine wanted to be found by the Sith, you know?
what are these wayfinders anyways? That was one of the biggest dumbest things I've ever heard.
It's
What-
a MacGuffin.
It's a MacGuffin, and it's the worst kind. Like, oh, hey, guess what? Now there's this thing that'll tell us
Because
exactly.
they're
where-
racing to go find them, and then when Rey finds the other one, Kylo goes,
Yeah, you have the
come
gripes
with
about
me.
that.
yeah. Well, you're not going to spend 45 minutes. It's like if you watch any other movie and they're like, we're going to go find, I don't know, the Lost City of Gold, and they find the Lost City of Gold, and then the bad guy just comes over and like rips off the wallpaper and goes, haha, guess what? It doesn't exist.
It was like it was the Roadrunner painted and Wile E. Coyote ran in.
Yeah, quite literally. Is wow, we finally did it. Something could happen. He goes, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. We wasted 45 minutes of time.
Yeah, you want to talk about a waste of time? Like you talk about Finn and Rose's little side mission as a waste of time, but like, dude, what a waste of time that was.
Yeah.
Like, and of course, all of a sudden they have everything they need to still figure it out.
Right.
Like, conveniently.
Yeah. Who cares?
Ridiculous.
Who cares?
No. I mean, yeah. So much dumb stuff. The Wayfinder was one of the dumbest things. As soon as I think when I saw that, I was like, really, a Wayfinder?
The 2 of them. That he plugged multiple audio cables into.
I know. Just hooked him up to his what are they called? Starfighter, and just
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he had that-
he's blasting Gangsta's Paradise from the Wayfinder on his way to go talk to Papa Palpatine.
oh my goodness. I mean, look, one thing I don't have any gripes about the new movies is the visuals. I think the visuals are good, but other than that, man,
It doesn't matter. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. The visuals were good.
Yeah,
They blew up a planet. That was kind
Possibly.
of neat.
I mean, but they've done that before. Show me something I haven't seen. And then it just gets worse because now every Star Destroyer has a freaking planet busting.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Who cares about the Death Star? You know, we got 100 of them.
Anyways, I don't know, man. Like, if you like Star Wars, we definitely want to hear from you.
Yeah,
Leave a comment.
Watch a better movie.
Yeah, like, subscribe. I mean, but I gotta be honest with you. If you haven't seen The Rise of Skywalker, don't. Unless you just want to know like how bad it is and what we've talked about. If you have seen it and you actually like it, I want to hear from you. But I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't understand you one bit. Maybe you could give me some insight as to what I'm missing. I doubt it, but I definitely want to hear you guys in the comments. I know this is going to be because Star Wars is such a beloved franchise. I know that there's going to be some comments and things, and maybe we missed something. Maybe you agree with something we said. Maybe you disagree. I'd love to hear it, man. Like, well, I think we'll do. I don't know when, but we'll do.
Yeah,
we'll do The Last Jedi. We'll do some of the other Star Wars. I think at some point we'll do all of them for sure.
Here's some good advice for anybody who wants to watch those 3 movies: is read a synopsis of Episode 7, watch Episode 8, and then just make up what happens in Episode 9 in your head.
Dude, yeah.
Much better that way.
Yeah, whatever you can think of to the end of Rey, Kylo.
Yeah, it's
and their
the world
story.
is your oyster.
Yes,
and it should be.
I guarantee you, it'll be better than what was actually made.
Yeah,
and it'll save you. But how long is the movie? Like 2.5, 3 hours? I don't even know how long Skywalker is. Save yourself the trouble.
I agree.
But again, hey.
Jar Jar Binks comes back to life too.
Oh man,
the Death Speaks.
Death Speaks.
Misa finds Palpatine and suffocates him with his own hands.
I would love that. I would
much better ending.
Much better.
Misa the Emperor now.
Yeah, dude. Still a better love story than Rey and Kylo.
True. Yeah, and then Jar Jar kisses Palpatine back to life.
Dude,
and they
so much better.
Build the galaxy together.
I would watch that a million times over this movie. But
I agree.
But hey, it's kind of. I know that our kind of discussion was kind of all over the place, but that's literally the movie. Yeah. So it's a movie. There's no really rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah,
it's
you
just
don't have to worry about that.
A bunch of stuff thrown into a pot without any rhyme or reason. Where are the stakes at? They don't ever show up. Where's the steak, bro?
It's all sides. And half of it's kale.
And half of it's, sorry if you love kale, but it's actually
a better side dish.
It's very pokey and scratchy. Why do you even eat that?
Yeah.
The only way you can eat it is by blending it. And anyways, we
Yeah.
won't get into a food discussion, but yeah, it's all sides. There's no steaks. There's no main course.
And the waiter needs a shower.
Definitely
Real bad.
And you absolutely saw him sweat into your mac and cheese.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt.
So there's that.
The mac and cheese is Babu Frick. Which is like, it's really good. It's just circumstances that he came about were not great.
Yeah, exactly. So, but anyways, again, it's YouTube. I got to say it. I'm legally obligated, if you're making a YouTube video, to ask for likes and subscriptions.
Yeah, the new CEO.
Comments. Yeah, it's literally in the contract.
It's weird.
So if you had a good time, hearing us rant and rave about this movie we don't like, or you did it, like leave a like, leave a dislike.
Yeah. Tell your friends.
Yeah. Subscribe and leave a comment, because that's honestly what I want the most. Is I love talking about movies. We want to be able to get on and discuss with you your opinions about these movies as well,
and tell you why you're wrong
or right. And as always, this is Full-Time Movie Fans. We're glad you're here. As always, I hope your day is everything you dreamed it'd be and more. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
He's been Jarvis.
Oh, yeah. He's been the other co-host. Hey, Full-Time Movie Fans, thanks for hanging out with us. Hope you had a good time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. We want to hang out and discuss the movie with you. So don't forget to do that below. Have a good one. I hope your day is everything you dreamed it'd be and more.